When it comes to the wealthy of the world, no name is more celebrated than Bill Gates, who is probably best known for the part he played in creating the Microsoft Corporation. And with the billionaire being described as none other than a business magnate, software engineer, investor, author, and philanthropist, it's really no wonder why people have been looking to the man for advice on the cryptocurrency exchange. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. Bill Gates' cryptocurrency portfolio. As we're well aware by now, cryptocurrencies in general were never meant to be used primarily as investment schemes. The whole purpose of crypto was to form a decentralized currency that would allow people from across the border to buy goods without experiencing the difficulties of exchange rate calculations. And for a while after Bitcoin was launched back in 2009, this is precisely what it was used for, albeit for criminal transactions on the dark web. But that was back then, with altcoins nowadays being traded for the sole purpose of making money, which is why many holders and analysts have been known to create rumors about popular investors with the intention of increasing the sale of a specific crypto. Bill Gates, for example, has a net worth of around $127 billion and is known the world over as being one of the greatest investors of our time. The man also has a background in software engineering, which makes him a bit of an expert on the topic of cryptocurrencies. So when rumors started to circulate regarding his love and ownership of some Bitcoin, you won't be surprised to hear that the crypto increased in value, with more and more investors flocking to the crypto upon discovering that Gates too shares their hope that the crypto will spit out great returns. Remember, when it comes to altcoins, the more people that buy, the greater the value of the specific altcoin in question. This is why many have referred to the cryptocurrency exchange as nothing more than a pyramid scheme, with early investors making millions and late investors losing everything. It's for this reason that there has been so much guesswork regarding the cryptocurrency portfolios of billionaire investors such as Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, who have expressed a positive attitude towards the crypto exchange. But when it comes to Bill Gates, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, it appears as if Gates has an even stronger apprehension towards the altcoin market than fellow billionaire investor Warren Buffett, who too has a cryptocurrency portfolio of $0. Gates actually participated in an interview for the Wall Street Journal in February of this year, where he gave his opinion on the surge and fall of the crypto exchange, which was completely unprompted. When asked about what technological advancement the world could do without, Gates answered, "The way cryptocurrency works today allows for certain criminal activities. It'd be good to get rid of that. I probably should have said bioweapons. That's a really bad thing too." Saying that you wouldn't invest in a specific investment scheme is one thing, but stating that the crypto we currently have in our lives is a worse technological innovation than biological weapons is another, and shows Gates' disdain for the crypto exchange. And it's not just Gates that holds this opinion. In fact, Bitcoin has had this type of baggage connected to it ever since people first started trading with it in 2009. But we surely shouldn't be blaming a currency for the bad things that people buy with it, right? It's not like we blame the dollar when a psychotic kid uses it to buy some guns and head off to the nearest school. But Gates explains that when it comes to cryptocurrencies, the problem lies in the fact that these cannot be traced and allow for average people to easily purchase illegal goods without having to risk meeting criminals in person. And since so many people are far braver when sitting in front of their keyboards, this is highly problematic. Gates also appeared on CNBC a couple of months ago, which is where he answered the question of whether he owns any cryptocurrencies once and for all. In his own words, "I don't own any Bitcoin, I'm not short on Bitcoin, so I've taken a neutral view. I do think moving money into a more digital form and getting transaction costs down is good. That's something the Gates Foundation does in developing countries. Bitcoin can go up and down just based on the mania or whatever the views are, and I don't have a way of predicting how that will progress." This view of his is also not a recent one, with Gates stating in another interview on CNBC back in 2018 that he would bet against Bitcoin if he could. He went on to discuss the asset class of the crypto exchange by summarizing that, as an asset class, you're not producing anything, so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of like a pure greater fool theory type of investment. At one stage, Bill Gates actually did have some Bitcoin in his cryptocurrency portfolio. As it turns out, he was given a stack of Bitcoin as a birthday present a few years back. He sold the asset a few years later though, not really wanting to bet on something that he didn't fully agree with. It wouldn't be logical to believe Bill Gates owns any cryptocurrencies at the moment. In fact, if he was a holder and wanted to make more money, he would surely disclose this fact and stop speaking contrary to such investments. The whole whole point in making money on the crypto exchange is in getting more to invest in the asset, not less. We thus have to conclude that Bill Gates has a cryptocurrency portfolio of $0, with the rumors being nothing more than unsubstantiated claims aimed at increasing the value of crypto. So now that we know that Gates hasn't much interest in the investment scheme that has led to quite a few millionaires in a short period of time, let's look at the reasons that keep him away. He finds the lack of value of cryptos to be problematic. First off, Gates considers himself to be a value investor who only invests money in schemes or businesses that have an underlying value. Whether this value is in monetary or humanitarian terms, such as the creation of vaccines, it needs to have an underlying value for Gates to find it to be worth its salt. And as we saw earlier by his comments, he doesn't necessarily believe that cryptocurrencies have an underlying value. And while it may be true that a couple of vendors have opened their doors to the receipt of Bitcoin and Ethereum as payment, this isn't exactly commonplace. When Bitcoin reaches the phase where it is considered to be more of a digital currency and less of an investment scheme, Gates may very well feel differently. But the volatility of crypto as an investment is not something that is within Gates's wheelhouse. In an interview alongside Warren Buffett on Squawk Box, Gates nodded emphatically as Buffett explained why he too does not believe that crypto had any underlying value. In his own words, "You're just hoping that the next guy pays more, and you only feel you'll find the next guy to pay more if he thinks he's going to find someone that's going to pay more." Considering what Gates has said about the underlying value of crypto and how it refuses to match up with his own principles of investment, it isn't hard to see that he lacks altcoins in his investment portfolio. But who knows what the future holds when Bitcoin becomes a lot less volatile and far more useful. The reason for investing in crypto doesn't capture him. Gates has said on many occasions that he would much rather invest in things ranging from technological advances to vaccines, and as such hasn't been hooked by the desire to invest in crypto. When asked about the financial implications of such an investment, he stated that the volatility of the market meant that those first investors would end up making millions, while those later investors would never see another dime, which is not the kind of investment he would want in his life. And although a number of experts purport to know which factors influence the crypto exchange and in what ways, this is still nothing more than guesswork. As a software engineer, he is utterly confused by the rise and fall in value. And since an investor should always go on to invest in schemes or companies that he understands, the cryptocurrency exchange is simply not for him. But before investing in something, you should not only understand it fully, but do your own research so that only you can be blamed for a bad investment. And when it comes to the altcoin market, the opposite seems to be true. A number of investors are currently mad at billionaire Elon Musk for shifting the market in his own direction, with the majority of them having followed his advice earlier on in the year. This is contrary to the principle of never investing based on the opinion of another, and once more explains why Gates would never be caught dead with a crypto portfolio. Crypto investments are far too speculative and harmful by nature, and even if you don't end up following the advice of a purported expert of the crypto exchange, altcoins haven't been around long enough to know which specific factors would lead to a surge or drop in value. An Elon tweet stating the same information on Dogecoin could result in both a surge or fall, depending on how this is interpreted. This is incredibly dangerous at the end of the day. According to Gates, there's far too much speculation involved when it comes to an investment in cryptos, with luck being the guiding factor behind the success of a specific investor. Gates has also mentioned just how dangerous Bitcoin mining can be for the broader environment, with the energy consumption of this activity being at an all-time high. So it looks like he disagrees with the investment scheme from both a financial and moral standpoint. There's no doubt that Gates is not the type of investor that concerns himself with crypto, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be. So what do you think? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below.